Stephen, don't make me laugh. Do you know how much the cheapest car costs? $800,000. I'm a manager with a monthly salary of over $10,000. Even I can't afford the cars here. How would you, someone who delivers food for a living, have the money? Stephen let out a sigh. If he had known earlier how much John had changed, he wouldn't have called him here. And coincidentally, John was also the manager of this car center. Where's your boss? Tell him to come here. I want to talk to him myself. Are you here to cause trouble because you found out that I'm the manager of this place? If you have something to say, you can talk to me. Stephen couldn't be bothered to argue with John anymore, so he found a seat and sat down. I'll give you 3 minutes. If your boss doesn't show up, I'll make you regret it. 3 minutes isn't necessary. I'll make you regret it right now. John called a few security guards over. If Stephen wouldn't leave, then he would have no choice but to use force. Before anyone could make a move, the owner of the car center returned. What are all of you doing? John didn't expect his boss to show up and see this commotion. It's not serious. Someone's just causing trouble. I'll kick them out right away. John motioned to the security guards. What are you waiting for? Throw him out. Wait, the owner said as he looked down at Stephen. Tell me why you're making a racket this early in the morning. You're bothering the other customers. I'm not here to make your lives difficult. I just want to buy a car. Stephen's goal was simple. He wanted to purchase a car of his own to drive his wife wherever she wanted to go. John didn't believe that someone who could barely afford a meal could possibly have the money to buy a luxury car. Boss, don't listen to his nonsense. He delivers takeout for a living. It's impossible for him to buy one of our cars. Stephen was amused when John repeatedly put him down. It was clear that John didn't want to be acquainted with him anymore. Stephen looked up at the owner. I changed my mind. I don't want to buy a car. I want to buy your car center. John and the owner were at a loss for words. Besides Stephen, there were several other customers in the store. They had been minding their own business until they heard him say something ridiculous. Did I hear him right? Did he just say he wants to purchase this entire store? The cars alone are worth $90 million. What a pity. He's so young, but he's out of his mind. If he can't even afford one of these cars, how can he afford to buy the store? John recovered from his shock and laughed. Are you crazy? Do you know how much this car center is worth? It's an amount you can't even begin to imagine. Stephen ignored him and spoke to the owner. You're wasting my time. How much are you selling this car center for? The owner quickly asked Sarah to bring him a list of their inventory. He didn't know who Stephen was, but he had an intimidating aura that made other people unable to refuse his orders. The cars we have are worth a total of $90 million. In addition to the rent, there are also wages and utilities to factor in. The owner picked up the calculator and punched in a list of numbers. The final amount displayed on the screen was $120 million. John took out a $20 bill from his pocket and threw it on the floor. Now do you realize how ridiculous you're being? Here's $20. You don't have to pay me back. Hail a cab and go home. Stephen didn't spare a glance at John as he continued his conversation with the owner. Give me your bank number. The owner wondered if Stephen was secretly super rich. After getting the information he needed, Stephen called Jack and asked him to wire $120 million into the owner's bank account. John looked on mockingly. Stephen, we haven't met for 2 years, but I didn't expect you to become this crazy. As soon as these words left his mouth, the owner's phone rang with an incoming message from his bank. He had received $120 million. The owner was in disbelief at the number of zeros in the message. He almost dropped his phone. John thought the owner was too angry to speak. You don't have to deal with him. If you leave it to me, I'll teach him a lesson. After working here for 2 years, John had made connections with several wealthy people. The owner had also told him that he had a talent for this field. Someone like Stephen couldn't match up to him. The owner glared at John and kicked him without warning. Are you trying to drag me down with you? If you know what's good for you, then keep your mouth shut. He transferred $120 million within a few minutes. One $120 million? How is that possible? John stuttered. If you have nothing else to say, then leave, Stephen said. We'll leave immediately. In the future, if there's anything I can help you with, don't hesitate to ask. The owner trailed off when Stephen gave him an impatient look. The owner dragged John, who was still shocked beyond words, out of the car center. Stephen looked around the store. His gaze fell on Sarah. You're Sarah, right? You'll be in charge of managing this car center from now on. Sarah was ecstatic at her sudden promotion. I won't disappoint you. The other customers in the store were excitedly whispering amongst themselves. Some of them had even taken out their phones to record the scene. That girl is really lucky. Other people would have had to work as a manager for more than 10 years before getting to her position. Who is that person anyway? Who in the city has enough funds to purchase an entire car center in a few minutes? Wait, he looks familiar. In the afternoon, Stephen drove back to the villa in his new Kim, Amy, and Natalie were in the living room watching TV. Stephen was confused when he saw Kim. She had just become the vice president of the Cassidy Group. Shouldn't she be busy with work? Why are you home so early? Kim crossed her arms in annoyance. There was nothing to do, so I came home. After arriving at the company, she sat around in her office until noon. Even though she was promoted to vice president, it was all for show. She had no authority. Kim recalled that Stephen told her he wanted to buy a car this morning. By the way, did you decide on a car? Natalie looked away from the TV. What? You want to buy a car? You can't even afford it. Don't even think about spending Kim's money. I won't allow it. Amy frowned as she hugged her knees. Mom, he barely earns any money. He hasn't seen much of the world, so I doubt he'd want to buy a luxury car. Stephen, don't listen to their nonsense. Our car is old, so it's time to get a new one anyway. Which car caught your eye? Kim asked. Natalie and Amy were also curious. The three of them looked at Stephen and waited for his answer. Stephen felt self-conscious at all the attention. Well, you see, I went to a car center and saw... Amy cut him off. Are you serious? You're going straight for a luxury car? Do you think you're some rich and handsome young man? You're hopeless. You should just stay home instead of going out and embarrassing yourself and our family, Natalie scolded. Stephen could barely support himself, and their family didn't have that much money to spare. Why would he want to buy a... Kim was disappointed in him. Never mind. Tomorrow I'll come with you, and we'll look at other cars. There's no need for that. I drove the car home. The in front of the house. You what? You drove the car home? Kim echoed. A Porsche wasn't the most expensive luxury car brand to exist, but it was still worth a lot of money. How could Stephen afford it? Natalie was suspicious. Are you lying to us? Mom, wait. I'm going outside to check if there's really a car there, Amy said. If Stephen really was lying to them, then she would expose him and let Kim see his true colors. A few minutes later, Amy called out to Kim and Natalie in a panicked voice. They rushed out the door thinking that something had happened to her. However, they were greeted by a luxurious parked in front of their house. Amy was standing next to the car with her phone in her hands. I just searched it up. This car was recently released, and it's worth more than $6 million. Stephen, what's going on? Kim asked with a frown. There was no way he could afford a $6 million car. $6 million? Natalie exclaimed. Stephen, I thought you were only a freeloader, but you're actually a thief who steals money from your own family. When Natalie was about to grab Stephen's arm, Kim stopped her. Mom, calm down. He didn't use my money. I only have a few $100,000 in the bank right now. It's impossible for him to steal $6 million from me. Kim looked at Stephen in disappointment. Aren't you going to explain yourself? At this time, the head of the security team, Aaron, spotted them as he was making his rounds. Mr. Adams, I just saw a video of you buying a... Can I have a look? Aaron had always been a die-hard fan of luxury cars, so he couldn't pass up this opportunity. Amy rushed over to Aaron and asked him to show her the video. When he searched up the video and pressed on the play button, Amy took the phone from him. Natalie and Kim waited anxiously for her to finish watching the video. Stephen didn't just buy a... He bought the entire car center for $120 million! Natalie and Kim were stunned. Stephen used $120 million to buy a car center, but he hadn't said a word about this. When was he planning on telling them? Stephen, does this have anything to do with global investment? Kim asked. She had a feeling that Keisha treated Stephen differently compared to the way she treated everyone else. Stephen looked at Kim in admiration. He had been racking his brain to come up with an excuse, but she had solved all of his problems with a single sentence. I knew you'd figure it out. I actually took on a job at Global Investment. I bought the car center because Keisha told me to. Kim glared at Stephen. That was fine and all, but why would Keisha give him one of the cars? And why did he just accept it? Kim didn't know why she was so angry. She couldn't bring herself to like the new car no matter how many times she looked at it. Forget it. If you want to drive this car around, go ahead, but don't bring me along. Stephen could tell that Kim wasn't happy with the... No, it's okay. I'll just return the car. Before he could do anything, Natalie snatched the car keys from his hand. Hold it right there. You already accepted the car. You can't return it. Mom, Keisha gave him this car as a gift. What right do you have to take it? He's been freeloading at our house for 3 years. What's wrong with me taking the car? Think about how much he owes our family. This $6 million is like interest. To Natalie, the was a priceless treasure. She couldn't let Stephen return it to Keisha. I don't care anymore. Do what you want. Kim was too frustrated to continue arguing. She turned around and walked back to the house. Stephen noticed that Kim was jealous, and it made him happy. He ran after her. Wait, Kim, didn't you want to buy a new car tomorrow? Kim didn't slow down. No, I can't afford a... I don't need a... I'll like whichever car you pick out. Stephen was following Kim close behind. He almost bumped into her when she stopped abruptly. Kim turned around and stared at him. Are you implying that I'm not as good as Keisha because I can't afford a Porsche? Stephen was at a loss when he met her serious gaze. He had a feeling that their conversation was headed in the wrong direction. After an intense stare-down with Kim and trying to convince her that he didn't mean it like that, they decided to purchase a car today instead of waiting until tomorrow. The next morning, Stephen drove Kim to work in their new car. If you're free in the afternoon, can you pack some of Amy's clothes and bring them to her at university? She said she's too busy to come home and get them herself. Sure, I'll drop by her school later. After Kim went inside, Stephen drove back to the villa. The house was empty. Natalie had taken the car keys and left to show off their new pool. Stephen had nothing to do, so he went to Amy's room to pack her clothes. Who would have thought that the Grand Palace Master would have to use his free time to help his sister-in-law fold her clothes? Amy's suitcase was in the corner of the room. She had left it open, and her clothes were scattered on the floor. Stephen sighed as he reached for one of Amy's shirts. To his surprise, there was a large image of a cat printed on the front. He glanced at the other clothes on the floor. Most of them were graphic tees decorated with outlandish designs. He felt like he had discovered a whole new side to Amy. It took some time, but Stephen finally finished folding all the clothes. He neatly put them inside the suitcase and brought it outside the house. He opened the trunk of the car and put the suitcase inside. Around an hour and a half later, Stephen arrived at Amy's university and dialed her number. Amy wasn't pleased when she received a call from him. What is it? This had better be important. Kim asked me to bring you your clothes. Forget about it. If you dare show up at my school, I won't let it go, Amy warned. I'm already here. What? Where are you? Don't move and stay where you are. I'm coming right now. Not long after Amy hung up, Stephen saw her running out of the university's gates. She skidded to a stop and gasped for breath as she looked around. As soon as Amy spotted him, she looked like she wanted to throttle him. Amy ran up to Stephen and pulled him around the corner. If her classmates found out she had such a useless brother-in-law, they would surely laugh at her. "What the hell are you doing here?" she whispered. "Your sister asked me to come." Stephen put the suitcase in front of her. "Here, this is for you." Amy quickly unzipped the suitcase to check the contents. Her face reddened when she saw her personal belongings inside. There was a murderous look in Amy's eyes as she glared at Stephen. "You didn't open it, right?" "Nope," Stephen answered casually. "Good. You've done what you've came to do, so leave." In her rush, Amy only zipped up the suitcase halfway. She grabbed the handle and dragged it towards the school gates. Not even 2 steps later, one of the wheels snagged on a rock, and the suitcase tipped over. It fell open, and her clothes spilled all over the ground. Stephen hurried over to help Amy pick up her clothes. Amy gritted her teeth. "Did you not hear what I said? Leave!" This was all because of Stephen. Bad luck followed him everywhere he went. Someone called out to her. "Hey, Amy, I didn't think you were into graphic t-shirts. Do you walk around with a cat plastered on the front of your shirt? How tacky." It was Clara Avery, Amy's rival. Clara was taller than her, and she dressed in outfits that showed off her beauty. Amy threw her shirt into the suitcase and got to her feet. "How is that any of your business, Clara?" "You're right, it's none of my concern. How can an immature girl like you understand the fashion of mature women like me?" Clara glanced at Stephen. "From what I can see, you and this man were probably living together until recently. After he dumped you, he kicked you out." Amy clenched her fists. "Don't make wild assumptions when you don't know what's going on." Clara grinned. She had no intention of stopping. "What happened to your pride? No matter how cheap you are, you can't shack up with some random man you probably found on the streets." While Amy and Clara argued, Stephen put Amy's clothes back into the suitcase. "I'm cheap? Clara, have you watched your own streams lately? Your clothes barely cover any skin. It's like you went to a dumpster and dug out your outfits." Amy retorted. "That's called being... You could wear cute clothes too, but unfortunately..." Clara looked her up and down before continuing. "You won't look as good as me. You don't have the body for it. I'm warning you now, A-Live's queen will be me." Amy was about to explode with anger. It was true that her body wasn't as curvaceous as Clara's, and this was something she had always been self-conscious about. "Don't get ahead of yourself. No one knows who will win." Aquaria Live, or A-Live for short, was the most popular streaming platform on campus. Each year, they would choose a king or queen based on their popularity. And this year, the adorable Amy and Clara were both highly anticipated to win. "Is that so? I heard you've been chatting with a wealthier viewer every night on your streams to get him to give you more gifts on the day of the finals. I hate to break it to you, but he's not on your side. Turn around and you'll see what I'm talking about," Clara said with a grin. Amy looked back and saw a man dressed in luxury clothes. His name was Brian, and his nickname on A-Live was General. He was a famous viewer among streamers. Brian had been very active on Amy's streams recently. She hadn't expected Clara to steal him away from her. Brian smirked as he spoke with complete confidence. "You should give up. With me here to support Clara, no one will be able to steal her position as the new queen of A-Live." Clara threw herself into Brian's arms and pressed against him. "Honey, not only are you handsome, you're also amazing." "Clara, you're shameless. For the sake of winning the championship, you actually sold your body." "You would if you could too," Brian said. Stephen zipped up the suitcase and looked up at Brian with disgust. He couldn't stand seeing his sister-in-law being bullied like this. "Do you not have any decency? You're preying on young women and even flaunting it in public." "How dare you talk to my honey like that? One phone call from him and your life is over," Clara threatened. Stephen wasn't fazed in the slightest. "Dragging out this conversation is pointless. How about this? Let's make a bet. If Amy becomes the new queen, you'll kneel and apologize 99 times. If Clara becomes the new queen, I'll do that for you. What do you say?" Brian looked at Stephen like he was a fool. I accept. Amy, your boyfriend sure is bold. I'm not her boyfriend, I'm her brother-in-law. Stephen took out a pen and wrote a number on a piece of paper before stuffing it in Brian's pocket. This is my number. Keep it safe, or else you won't be able to see me again. No need to worry. You'll definitely receive a call from me after the finals. With that, Brian and Clara left together. Amy gave Stephen an expectant look. He sounded so confident just now. Since he was acquainted with Keisha, he might really have some tricks up his sleeve to help her win. Do you have a plan? Stephen got in the car and rolled down the window. You're expecting too much. I don't have any money, remember? Then why did you suggest a bet? If you lose, you'll have to get on your knees. Well, that's if he can find me. I never told him my name, and the number I gave him is fake. Stephen waved goodbye and drove away before Amy had the chance to say anything else. She glared at his car until it disappeared into the distance. Stephen, you good-for-nothing freeloader. The house was still empty when Stephen returned. He went into Amy's room and turned on her computer. He clicked on Aquaria Live and found her nickname. It was Mimi. Amy's cute nickname paired well with her adorable charms. While Stephen jotted down Amy's ID, he accidentally knocked over the glass of leftover milk. Fortunately, there wasn't much in the glass. While he was wiping up the mess with a tissue, Natalie came into the room. Her expression darkened when she saw him. What are you doing in Amy's room? Stephen stood up awkwardly. Nothing. It was the fact that he had snuck into his sister-in-law's room when no one was home, and to make things worse, his mother-in-law had caught him. He didn't want to expose Amy's secret that she was an online streamer, but how was he going to get out of this? To no one's surprise, Natalie didn't believe him. She pushed him aside and saw a slightly damp tissue on the floor. Amy's closet was open a crack, and her pajamas were on her bed. Inappropriate images flooded Natalie's mind. Stephen, how dare you! When no one was home, you took the chance to sneak into Amy's room to do such a disgusting thing? Stephen was confused until he glanced at the scene next to him. He instantly grasped the situation. Mom, this is a big misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Get out of here right now, you ungrateful freeloader! We let you live with us because you're Kim's husband. But I didn't think you would go as far as to set Amy as your target. Natalie grabbed a broom and prodded Stephen with the bristles to push him out of the room. Mom, calm down. I can explain. When Natalie threw the broom at him, he sidestepped and avoided it. What is there to explain? I'm kicking you out of this house. While Natalie was walking over to the broom to pick it up, she slipped on the floor and fell. Are you trying to kill me to keep my mouth shut? Stephen was dumbfounded. He hadn't even touched her. Where was this ridiculous accusation coming from? All of a sudden, Kim entered the room. When Natalie saw her, she pretended to be even more distressed. Kim, is that you? Your husband pushed his own mother-in-law to the floor. This was a golden opportunity to kick Stephen out. Natalie had to make Kim divorce him so that the owner of Global Investment could become her son-in-law. Kim rushed over to Natalie to help her up. What happened? Natalie leaned over to Kim and told her everything that Stephen had done in a low voice. Kim, you have to chase him out of the house today. Who knows what else he's capable of? Kim's face flushed with embarrassment. That's impossible. He's not that kind of person. If you don't believe me, just look at the evidence. Natalie pointed to the floor, the closet, and the bed. He even got mad when I exposed him. Isn't it obvious who's at fault here? Kim was even more embarrassed that she saw the damp tissue on the floor. She had asked Stephen to pack some of Amy's clothes today. Had he really done something indecent while he was in her room? Stephen, what do you have to say for yourself? Stephen looked at Kim with a helpless expression. It's not like that. You have to believe me. Didn't you ask me to bring Amy her clothes? I left in a hurry and didn't have time to clean up. When I came home, I was planning on cleaning her room since I had nothing to do, but I accidentally knocked over the milk. Half of Kim's suspicions disappeared after hearing this. After all, in the past 3 years, they had never done anything remotely intimate with each other. Not even once. Stephen wasn't like that. Is that all? Yes, that's all. And while I was wiping the floor, Mom came home. Kim narrowed her eyes. Then how did she fall over? Kim, remember when you first came into the room? Mom was next to the place where I knocked over the milk. The floor was still wet, so she slipped. Kim glanced at the place Stephen was referring to. She felt a lot better when she saw that Amy's glass of milk was on the table, right above the tissue on the floor. Natalie was reluctant to give in. I don't remember the floor being wet. Where's your proof? If you don't believe me, you can inspect the tissue yourself. As soon as Stephen finished his sentence, Natalie and Kim were shocked beyond words. Was he implying for them to pick up the dirty tissue and take a sniff? Or worse, taste it? Who would do something that disgusting? Stephen, I think that's enough, Kim said in a firm tone. At the same time, she was embarrassed because she hadn't noticed the glass of milk on the table near Amy's computer when she first came into the room. Otherwise, this wouldn't have escalated into such a big misunderstanding. But this was also because of Natalie. Mom, I understand why you misunderstood him, but why did you frame Stephen for something he didn't do? I hope there won't be a next time. Kim, sooner or later, your life will be ruined if you let someone like him stay by your side. When the time comes, you'll definitely regret it. Natalie's tricks had been exposed, so she didn't feel like staying here any longer. She was exasperated as she trudged back to her own room. Stephen sensed the tense atmosphere and decided to excuse himself because he didn't want to make Kim even more mad. I'm going back to my room too. Kim hesitated before stopping him outside Amy's room. Hold on. Stay here and don't move. Kim went to her room and came back a few minutes later. She stared at Stephen with her hands behind her back. Kim, why are you staring at me like that? Do I have something on my face? Kim threw something at him. In the future, use that if you need to take care of your business, and make sure you do it in private. Kim turned around to hide her embarrassment. She ran back to her room and slammed the door shut. Stephen was confused until he looked down at the piece of clothing that Kim had given him. He couldn't help but sigh. Just what kind of person did she think he was? After going back to his room, Stephen laid on the bed and reached for his phone. He downloaded the Aquaria Live app and registered a new account with the nickname Stephan Asher. This was his first time on a streaming platform. He pressed random icons to familiarize himself with the app. When he typed in Amy's ID into the search engine, he was surprised to see that she had already started streaming. It seemed like Amy was determined to win the competition. When Stephen joined the stream, Amy smiled and made a heart gesture. Welcome and hello, Stephan Asher. Amy was wearing a light blue dress with a white veil draped over her shoulders. She was wearing light makeup that brought out her cute and elegant charms. Stephen glanced at the number in the corner. He was shocked that 100,000 people were watching Amy's stream. It seemed like Mimi was a popular streamer on A-Live. Amy made a cute face at the camera. Tomorrow is the finals. Please support me. The chat was instantly flooded with comments asking Amy to dance. Several viewers promised that they would give her a sports car emoji, which was the gift the viewer could send to the streamer by paying $200. Amy played a trendy song titled Night. She played the music and danced in tune with the lyrics. The fluorescent lanterns and chandeliers continued to shine. Amy's dance resembled a fairy dancing in an enchanted forest. The viewers could almost picture butterflies and flowers around her. Her elegant and rhythmic movements captured their hearts. Stephen didn't expect Amy to be so good at dancing. Her fiery personality in real life was nowhere to be seen. While Amy was dancing, the viewers sent all kinds of gifts from A-Live. Miniature icons of their gifts covered the entire screen. There were sports cars, diamonds, rockets, and more. After the song ended, Amy sat back down and thanked each viewer for their gift. She looked excited that she had received so many gifts. In the next second, some viewers started leaving negative comments. What kind of dance was that? It was nauseating to watch. What is she wearing? It's not cute at all. She has no fashion sense. Amy's smile faltered, but she forced herself to respond cheerfully. If you don't like it, you can leave. Thank you for watching me dance today. The administrator on Amy's stream gave these viewers a warning in the chat, but they ignored it. Do you think you're a celebrity? You don't even have that many followers. Get lost. Your dance blinded me just now. You want to become the new queen with that kind of skill? Stop dreaming. Everyone, don't bother watching her stream. Watch Claire's stream instead. She's much better. More viewers left negative comments, and before long, there were too many for the administrator to handle. Gradually, the number of people watching Amy's stream dwindled. Some viewers didn't want to deal with the toxicity in the chat, while other viewers left to watch Claire's stream. In the end, there were only 10,000 viewers left in Amy's stream. Around 90,000 viewers had left after the negative comments started. Amy had no choice but to tell her remaining viewers that she'd be taking a break and would be back in 30 minutes. She wasn't confident that she could continue streaming with a lively atmosphere. Amy had been streaming at her university's dorm. She closed her laptop and slammed her fists on the table in anger. It wasn't hard to guess that she had lost viewers because of Clara's tricks. Besides the support of ordinary fans, Amy's popularity on A-Live was mostly because of Brian. He used to send her expensive gifts during the streams. He stopped when she refused to meet up with him in person late one night. Amy sighed. Am I really going to lose to Clara in the finals? I hope some random rich viewer shows up to help me out. When Stephen saw the viewers mention another streamer named Claire, he suspected that this was Clara's nickname on A-Live. Stephen searched for Claire's ID and found her profile. It really was Clara. Stephen pressed on Clara's stream. Since you acted so confident this afternoon, let's see what's so special about your live broadcast. As soon as he entered the room, Clara greeted him in a flirtatious voice. Stephan Asher, welcome. For everyone who's joining now, I'd like to make an announcement. If you send me a sports car, there will be extra benefits. As for anyone who sends me a warship, I'll do whatever you want. Stephen wasn't familiar with these terms. He thought a sports car was the most expensive gift a viewer could send to the streamer. When he searched it up, he discovered that the sports car was one of the cheapest gifts. There was a rocket worth $100,000, and the most expensive gift was a warship that was worth $1 million. Stephen didn't expect this many gift options, and he certainly didn't expect a $1 million gift. It was obvious that the person who developed Aquaria Live only had one objective: money. Not even a second later, a gift appeared on the screen. Then 2, 3, 5, and finally, someone sent a gift worth $500,000. This gift was from Brian, also known as General on A-Live. Clara threw a flirtatious look at the camera and put on a shy expression. General, I love you. Thank you for your gift. I've already sent you my room number and phone number in a private message. The chat went crazy. The viewers were jealous of Brian, and many of them sent Clara more gifts in hopes she would reveal this information on the stream. After 30 minutes, a total of $2 million worth of gifts had been sent. Stephen closed the app and put his phone down. One of them is dancing, while the other is putting on a private show with one of her viewers. This was most likely Clara and Brian's plan to hype up the stream. Stephen's phone rang. Jack was calling. Mr. Hendricks wanted me to tell you that your family in Washington, D.C. is sending Garrett Adams to Los Angeles. His subordinate, Jacob Adams, will be coming with him. Stephen smirked when he heard the familiar names. He wondered how they'd react when they found out he was the Grand Palace Master. Got it. By the way, do you know who owns Aquaria Live? Mr. Adams, as the Grand Palace Master, Aquaria Live is one of your businesses. It has a market capitalization of over $20 billion, and it's the most popular streaming platform in the United States. I'm the owner? I was about to ask you to buy it. At this point, Stephen didn't know if he should be surprised or not. He really needed to set aside some time to organize his assets. Anyway, A-Live uses gold coins as their currency, right? Help me add some to my account. Stephen sent his ID to Jack. A few minutes later, Jack sent him a reply. Mr. Adams, I've completed the transaction. There are 1 billion gold coins in your account, and it's worth $1 billion. You are also the Emperor-level user on A-Live. With me here, it won't be that hard for Amy to win the competition and become the queen, Stephen thought. His phone vibrated with a notification from A-Live. The streamer you're following, Mimi, is online. Log in and come watch the stream. When Stephen pressed on Amy's stream, he was taken aback by her new outfit. She was wearing a low-cut top and a bright yellow miniskirt that exposed her long legs. This was Amy's first time wearing these kinds of clothes. She had a shy expression on her face as she welcomed everyone back to her stream. The lustful viewers thought she looked even better than before. The chat room was bombarded with comments. I like your new look, Mimi. What the hell just happened? I went to the bathroom when the stream paused, and when I came back, Mimi completely changed her look. She paused the stream half an hour ago. Were you in the bathroom for 30 minutes? The number of viewers continued to soar, and in the blink of an eye, 30,000 people were watching. Stephen wondered if he should stop watching the stream. He felt like he was invading Amy's privacy, and it didn't feel right to watch her entertain her viewers in a revealing outfit. Amy was excited by her rise in popularity. After thanking those who gave her a gift, she started welcoming her new viewers. While she was listing out the names, a familiar viewer joined the stream. Amy froze when she read his nickname. It was Brian. What was he doing here? Her viewers also noticed his appearance. Not only was General famous among the streamers, he was also well known amongst the viewers. There was a commotion in the chat as soon as he joined. Hey look, General's here. Why is he watching Mimi's stream again? Wasn't he interested in Claire? Did he change his mind? He's so two-faced. Amy skipped over Brian's nickname and warmly greeted the next viewer who joined. Brian wasn't happy when Amy ignored him. He sent an angry comment in the chat. I haven't watched your streams in a few days, but your style has completely changed. Were you just pretending to be pure and innocent? Pretty soon, Brian and many viewers were engaged in a heated discussion. What's going on, General? Weren't you Mimi's fan? You used to give her at least a few million worth of gifts. I heard that the General is infatuated with Claire. You all know why I've switched sides? I made an appointment with her, but she's not that great. I've also recorded a video. In an instant, the viewers were in an uproar. General, is that true? I'm not lying. Her body looked like a washboard. Mimi, I didn't expect this from you. Amy seethed with anger when the chat spiraled out of control. Brian had already made it clear that he was on Clara's side. He was here to ruin her reputation. Amy wanted to kick Brian out of her stream, but it wouldn't be easy because he was a VIP on A-Live. At this rate, she might as well just forget about winning the competition. She didn't even know if she could continue her streams. Amy tried not to let her emotions show, but her stream was running. She typed a message and sent it to Brian. Get lost. Is that a rejection? You do know I can lock your account at any time, right? Whatever, Amy replied. Even though Brian was a VIP, she didn't think he had the authority to do that. When he didn't reply, Amy felt uneasy. If her account was locked, her current followers and the gifts she'd received would drop to 0. Amy pulled herself together and turned her attention back to her stream. She announced that she would be singing a song for her viewers. When the music started playing, the screen turned dark. A line of text was displayed at the center. Due to suspected violations of our policies, we've ended the stream. We apologize for the inconvenience. Even though the stream had been forcibly ended, the chat was still running wild. Amy's loyal followers expressed their support for her, while other viewers complained. Amy was so angry that she almost threw her laptop onto the floor. Her outfit was revealing, but it was nowhere near the level of Clara's outfits. Her clothes barely covered any skin. If anyone's account was to be locked, it should be Clara's, not hers. This was definitely because of Brian. Amy flopped on the bed and wanted to cry. All of her hard work had gone down the drain. Unless... if a wealthy viewer sent her the most expensive gift to show their support, there was a chance that her account would be unlocked. But having someone like that among her viewers was a 1 in a million chance. At this time, Clara and Brian were at a luxurious hotel. Clara was lying on top of Brian and looking at him in admiration. "Honey, you're amazing. How did you lock our account with a single message?" "There's nothing I can't do. My dad is one of Aquaria Live's shareholders. He can lock any account he wants." "Really? Does that mean I'll win the finals tomorrow?" "Of course. As long as you satisfy me tonight, I'll make sure you become the queen." "You're so annoying," Clara said with a laugh. Just as she was about to pounce on him, the computer screen flickered and caught her attention. Amy's stream is up and running again. Was her account unlocked? Brian sat up and went to the computer. "How's this possible? Wait, what's this? Someone actually sent her a warship! Each one cost $1 million! How did she manage to seduce someone that rich?" Soon after Amy's account was locked, a viewer named Stephan Asher had sent her an expensive gift. She regained full control of her account, and her stream was back to normal. Amy didn't expect a wealthy viewer to really appear. Stephan hadn't made any requests. After sending the gift, he left without saying anything. His sweet gesture moved her heart. Amy sent a message in the chat. "Stephan, are you still there?" But Stephan's profile picture was gray, indicating that he was offline. Amy never sent friend requests on A Live. It was always other people who added her. But tonight, she decided to send a friend request for the first time. She even added a short introduction. "Hi, Stephan, I'm Mimi. Thanks for your gift." Meanwhile, Stephan had just logged out of A Live. He tossed his phone to the side. One night of streams was enough for him. They were such a waste of energy. But his efforts weren't in vain. Fortunately, sending a $1 million gift to Amy had unlocked her account. As long as she won the competition tomorrow, her mood would improve. If Amy was in higher spirits, then Kim wouldn't have to be so worried about her. Stephan would be happy as long as Kim was happy. The next morning, Natalie, Kim, and Stephan were all having breakfast together. From time to time, Kim would steal a glance at Stephan before looking back down at her food. "He looks a little tired today. Maybe he couldn't resist the urge after I gave him that last night." Kim's face burned as soon as this thought crossed her mind. Natalie noticed her strange behavior. "What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?" Kim glanced at Stephan again. She was afraid that he would catch on to what she was thinking. "No, I'm fine. I'm going to work now." Kim grabbed her bag and ran out of the house. Stephan stuffed a slice of bread into his mouth before chasing after her. "Kim, wait! I'll drive you to work." In the car, Stephan examined his appearance in the rearview mirror. He noticed Kim glancing at him throughout breakfast. "Is there something on my face?" "No, but..." Kim gathered her courage and said, "You just seem a little tired." Stephan sighed as he recalled the showdown between Amy and the chat on A Live. "Yeah, you don't know how intense last night was." Kim looked away to hide her embarrassment. "Was it that extreme?" In a softer voice, she added, "You have to control yourself. Too much of anything isn't good for you." Stephan was moved by her words. Maybe his wife was finally starting to care about him. On another note, Helen and Harry had been laying low recently. It was strange for them to be this quiet. "What's going on at the company?" Kim looked out the window and replied absent-mindedly, "Don't worry, I'm getting used to the vice president's work. I'm also taking over the Century Garden project soon, and in a few days, me and Harry will be having a meeting with a client." "Okay, call me if you need anything." After sending Kim to work, Stephan drove to Global Investment. He had a meeting with Jack today. When Stephan arrived, Jack was already in the office waiting for him. He took a seat and got down to business. "Is Garrett almost here?" "Yes, he just got off the plane." "Send some people to follow him 24/7. You don't have to intervene if he tries to investigate me, but if he lays a single finger on the people around me, take action immediately." "Yes, sir." "Also, I sent you an ID. He has an account on Aquaria Live. Look into him." Stephen had a feeling that Amy's account wasn't locked because she violated A-Live's policies. It was more likely that someone had pulled some strings to ruin her chance of participating in the finals. And that someone was probably a Clara supporter. Jack left the room and returned 10 minutes later. "His real name is Brian Alfaro, and his father is a shareholder of Aquaria Live. His family's assets are around $500 million. No wonder he was being so arrogant. Take care of it. I don't want to see them pulling tricks again." "Understood." When Stephen left Global Investment after explaining the situation to Jack, he received a call from Kim. "Stephen, Amy and I are planning to go shopping. Can you pick her up at the university before picking me up at the company?" "Sure, I'll see you soon." When Stephen arrived at Amy's university, she started complaining the moment she got into the back seat. "What took you so long? My classes ended an hour ago." Stephen shrugged and didn't say anything. On their way to the Cassidy group, Amy kept checking her phone. Seeing that she was in a bad mood, Stephen guessed that Brian and Clara were up to something in secret. "What's the matter?" "None of your business. What's the use in telling you anyway? You don't even come close to my darling Stephan," Amy grumbled. Stephen was so surprised that he stepped on the brakes. Darling? Stephan? This was definitely a sign that streaming platforms weren't for him. One night of watching streams had led to an even bigger mess. Amy was annoyed when her phone almost fell out of her hands. "Do you not know how to drive?" "Sorry, a cat was on the road." When Stephen drove up to the Cassidy group, Kim stepped into the car and sat next to Amy. "Why did you want to go shopping today?" Kim was looking forward to their trip to the mall because she hadn't gone shopping in a long time. Amy gestured for Kim to come closer. "I have a secret that I can't tell anyone but you." "Okay, what is it?" The more Kim listened, the more surprised she was. "What? You're a streamer on Aquaria Live, and you fell in love with one of your viewers?" Amy put a finger to her lips. "Keep your voice down. Your good-for-nothing husband heard everything." "Amy, he's your brother-in-law. Don't talk about him like that," Kim scolded. "I'm not opposed to you streaming online, but how do you know that this person is trustworthy?" "He has to be. When I was in a difficult situation, he used $1 million to help me without asking for anything in return." "Okay, I understand. You're an adult now, so you can make your own decisions. I'll support you." Amy leaned her head on Kim's shoulder. "Thanks, Kim. I knew I could count on you. Oh, right, I have an important stream tonight. You have to help me pick out an outfit at the mall later." "All right, I'll pick out a beautiful dress just for you." Half an hour later, the three of them entered the mall. Amy linked arms with Kim and shot Stephen a glare. "Don't walk so close to us. You're embarrassing." Stephen was just happy to be there. He didn't mind following them from behind. While Amy and Kim walked around the mall, he took out his phone and logged into A-Live. Amy said that she's been sending him messages all day, so he was curious as to what she had to say. The moment he logged in, he was bombarded with notifications on the screen. There were a total of 120 messages. "Stephan, are you there? Can you log in and talk to me for just a second?" "Stephan, I want to thank you for what you did for me." "Stephan, the final competition is tonight. Will you come and support me?" The more Stephen read, the more he panicked. Wasn't it too easy for girls to fall in love these days? Should he respond? Before Stephen could make up his mind, a commotion caught his attention. He put his phone back into his pocket and hurried over to Amy and Kim. It turned out that Clara and Brian had also decided to shop at this mall today. Clara was wearing a face full of makeup. She didn't hesitate to mock Amy when she spotted her. "Is that who I think it is? What, are you here to buy clothes for tonight? Don't you know that these are luxury brands? I doubt you could afford them." Amy resisted the urge to talk back to Clara and pulled Kim away. "Let's go. It's a waste of time to talk to them." Brian ran in front of them and stopped them from leaving. He had a lecherous look in his eyes as he stared at Kim. "Is this your sister? Why didn't you tell me earlier that your sister was this pretty?" Clara didn't expect a man like Brian, who'd chased after beautiful women as a hobby, would change his mind so quickly. "Is this how you treat your customers? Didn't you hear what my girlfriend said? She wants to buy the dress. Go and wrap it up for her. Do you want me to complain to Mr. Russo?" The sales associate was nervous when she saw the gold card. In the United States, there were only 10 Why else would he be so nervous? After Stephen ran out of the store, he found a corner nearby where no one was around. That was close. He had forgotten to sign out of A Live because Brian and Clara showed up. Stephen looked down at his phone. There was a notification from A Live. Mimi is calling. Will you accept? There's no way I'm answering, he thought. Right after Stephen rejected the call, the same tune played. Amy was calling him on A Live again. Was there no end to this? Stephen hesitated, but in the end, he decided to pick up to avoid more unexpected situations. Right after he accepted the call, Amy's excited voice sounded from his phone. Hi, Stephan. I've been wanting to talk to you. Stephen opened a voice changer app to modify his voice. He kept an eye on Kim and Amy in the store as he spoke. What's the matter? Amy quickly explained the situation with the dress. Can you lend me $2,000? I'll cash out the $1 million you gave me yesterday and pay you back soon. Sure, leave it to me. After Stephen ended the call, he immediately logged out of A Live. Clara and Brian were still in the store, and they heard everything that Amy said. As far as Clara was concerned, Amy was trying to make things difficult for the sake of her reputation. Are you asking your ex-boyfriend for help? Do you really think he'll give you the money? I doubt anyone would be stupid enough to like someone like you. Brian grinned as he looked at Kim. Don't say that. Even if he does help Amy, he's probably doing it because he wants to get close to her sister. She's a much better catch than her. Amy ignored Brian and turned to the sales associate. Can you wait a little longer? I can pay for it soon. Clara crossed her arms. I'm not waiting. If you can't afford it, then just say so. Clara glared at the sales associate. Why are you still standing around? Are you waiting for my honey to file a complaint against you? The sales associate had no choice but to wrap the dress and put it in a bag. Just as she was about to hand it over to Clara, Stephen returned and snatched the bag. We'll be buying this dress. What are you doing? Amy exclaimed. Do you know how much this dress costs? $2,000! You don't need to get involved. My darling Stephan has already promised to help me. I believe in him. Kim pulled Stephen to the side and whispered, I didn't bring enough money, so I can't clean up your mess this time. Stephen sighed internally. Was his image really that terrible? Relax, it'll be fine. I'll pay for it. Brian shook his head. To him, Stephen was a fool who only knew how to talk big. It's $2,000, not $25. Even if you sold your cheap car, it still wouldn't be enough. Honey, don't stop him. I want to see how he's going to pay for it, Clara said. Stephen asked the sales associate to show him where to pay. The sales associate assessed his clothes. They were cheap compared to the designer clothes that Clara and Brian were wearing. She had no idea how Stephen was planning to pay for the dress. Amy looked around, but she couldn't see anyone coming to help. Stephan wasn't here, and he hadn't sent her any money. Kim, why don't we leave? There's a lot of people watching us right now. If Stephen can't afford the dress, he'll be kicked out of the store. It'll be embarrassing for us to be seen with him. Kim didn't know what Stephen was thinking, but she couldn't let him lose face. I'm not leaving. If there's no other way, then I'll call Grandma and ask her to give me an advance on my paycheck. I'm the vice president, so I should have this privilege. Amy tried to stop Kim from going to the checkout counter, but she wouldn't listen. Amy had no choice but to follow her. The cashier greeted Stephen with a smile and asked him how he would like to pay. I'll pay with my debit card. Stephen reached into his pocket for his wallet, only to realize that he had left it at home. During the past 3 years, he rarely went out to shop for anything. As for the recent purchases that he had made, Jack had wired the funds directly. It wasn't surprising that he no longer had the habit of checking to see if he had his wallet or not before leaving the house. Stephen cursed under his breath. I should have checked if I had my card on me before saying all that, he thought. When Clara saw the awkward expression on Stephen's face, she knew that his pockets were empty. Weren't you talking big a few minutes ago? What happened to that? How are you going to pay for the dress? Could it be? Do you actually not have the money? Brian laughed as if he were watching a comedy movie. Let's sit back and wait for him to be chased out of the store like the trash he is. Kim leaned over and whispered nervously, You didn't forget your card, right? Stephen gave Kim an apologetic look. Sorry, I left it at home. Disappointment flickered in Kim's eyes. Was he putting on an act this whole time to save face? If you don't have the money, then you don't have it, Clara said in a loud voice. Why are you making excuses like you forgot your card at home? She turned to the sales associate. And you? Why are you just standing there? Shouldn't you kick him out? The other customers scorned Stephen. So he really can't afford the dress. Young people only know how to brag. They have nothing to show for themselves. If they didn't have the money, why did they come to Elizabeth's boutique? They don't know their place. Amy was so embarrassed that she lowered her head. She wished she could find a hole to hide in. Before they knew it, 2 security guards were standing next to Stephen. Sir, please leave. Kim couldn't let Stephen be humiliated like this. Calm down. I'll call someone for the money right now. She took out her phone to call Helen for an advance on her paycheck. Stephen held Kim's hand to stop her. You don't need to do that. $2,000 is nothing. I can buy you all the dresses in the store if you want them. Stop messing around. Kim was getting upset that he was still bragging at a time like this. Stephen, would it kill you to keep your mouth shut just for 1 second? Amy whispered. Brian came up behind them. You want to buy everything in the store? Don't you know how much money you would need? At least $10 million. Is that so? Thanks for the information. Stephen dialed Jack's number. Send $10 million in cash to Elizabeth's boutique in 10 minutes. Brian laughed. What did I just hear? $10 million in cash in 10 minutes? Weren't you aware that you have to make an appointment at the bank to withdraw large amounts of money? Kim grabbed Stephen's arm. Do you have to go this far? Kim, forget about him. He's hopeless. We should leave. Amy pulled Kim to the entrance. When they left the store, a black van stopped in front of the mall. A man in a suit stepped out and went straight into Elizabeth's boutique. He stopped in front of Stephen. Hello, Mr. Adams. I'm the president of the bank. Your $10 million in cash has been delivered. Silence filled the store. Kim and Amy were in disbelief. As for Brian, he didn't think the president of the bank would personally deliver cash for anyone. Don't think you can hire some knockoff actors out of nowhere to act like they work at a bank. Stephen nodded at the president of the bank. In the blink of an eye, 10 security personnel arrived in the store with sturdy metallic containers and removed one of the lids. It was filled to the brim with stacks of $100 bills. Everyone present froze at the shocking scene. Kim and Amy went back to Stephen and questioned him. How did you arrange this? Kim asked in a soft tone. Remember how I left to answer my phone? While I was coming back, someone gave me a phone number. He said that if I needed help with anything, I could call him. We were in a tight spot, so I worked up the courage to give him a call. I didn't think it would work, but here we are. Amy's eyes widened. Did he tell you his name? Stephen pretended like he was trying hard to remember. I think it was something like Stephan Asher, or was it Stephan Asher? Amy turned to Kim excitedly. It's really him! Stephan didn't lie to me. He helped us out just like he said he would. Stephen glanced at Brian. Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? Got nothing to say? Because the $10 million was delivered as promised? Brian waved his gold VIP card as he took out his phone. Are you proud that you're a nouveau rich? You're in over your head. Do you think my VIP status is just for show? Even if you have the money, I can make it so that you won't be able to buy a single piece of clothing in this store. Not only was Brian a VIP at Elizabeth's boutique, his father also had connections with the manager, Mr. Russo. He was confident that Mr. Russo would back him up once he called him over. Before Brian had a chance to give Mr. Russo a call, an authoritative voice boomed behind the crowd. What's going on? Why are there boxes everywhere? A middle-aged man with glasses walked over in large strides. As soon as Brian saw him, he put away his phone and went up to him. Mr. Russo, long time no see. Have you been lately? My dad brought back a special wine from abroad yesterday. If you have some time to spare, you're welcome to come over." "Oh, it's you, Mr. Brian. What's going on?" Brian gestured to the checkout counter. "They're the ones causing trouble. They think they can do whatever they want just because they have the money. They asked the bank to send $10 million to empty out your store." "What? That's ridiculous." Mr. Russo looked in the direction Brian was pointing to. His stern expression was replaced with shock the moment he saw Kim. Mr. Russo rushed over to greet her politely. "Miss Kim, it's nice to see you." Everyone was dumbfounded, especially Brian. Elizabeth's Boutique was a high-end clothing store in the UK, and Mr. Russo was the manager of its chain store in Los Angeles. Why would someone with his position lower his head in front of a random person? "Mr. Russo, did you mistake her for someone else? She may be pretty, but she has no money, and—" Mr. Russo silenced him with a glare. "Brian, if you disrespect Miss Kim one more time, I won't let it go." As for Kim, she was just as surprised as everyone else. This was her first time meeting Mr. Russo. "I don't believe we've met. Are you sure you have the right person?" "Miss Kim, you must be joking. With your status, I would recognize you anywhere. I apologize for this commotion," Mr. Russo said. He recalled the live broadcast on February 12th. Kim became the successor of the Cassidy family, and she received the $2 billion Moon of the Nile as a gift. Moreover, prominent guests, including Roman, personally attended the press conference to congratulate her. Mr. Russo received an urgent notice from Elizabeth's Boutique's headquarters in the UK. If Kim Cassidy were to ever visit their store in Los Angeles, he was instructed to treat her with the utmost respect. Kim guessed that Mr. Russo was being nice to her because of her wealthy patron. Stephen might be upset if this went on, so she decided to leave as soon as possible. "It's fine. Your staff are very polite. We'll be leaving now." Before Kim could leave with Stephen and Amy, Mr. Russo called out to her. "Miss Kim, please wait a minute," he shouted at his employees. "Pack up all the clothes in the store and have them delivered to Miss Kim's residence." Kim quickly refused him. "Thank you, but there's no need for that." She pulled Amy along as they headed to the door, but Mr. Russo ran in front of them. Without a word, he got on his knees and held out a black card. "Miss Kim, you have to accept these clothes and this card. There are only 100 of these cards in the world. You can purchase anything you like from Elizabeth's Boutique for free." Mr. Russo was nervous. If the headquarters found out about his encounter with Kim and discovered that he didn't try to form a connection with her, he would be fired immediately. Stephen gave Mr. Russo a thoughtful look. He was decisive and knew what he had to do to get the job done. What a rare find.
"Kim, since Mr. Russo's being so generous, you should accept his sincerity."
Amy was excited as she looked at the gorgeous clothes in the store.
"He's right. These dresses are all high quality. I've always wanted to wear them. Just accept."
Since Stephen didn't mind, Kim didn't want to make things difficult for Mr. Russo, so she agreed and took the black card. "Thank you, Mr. Russo." "No, thank you, Miss Kim." After sorting out their business at Elizabeth's Boutique, Kim left the mall with Stephen and Amy. Brian threw the gold card on the floor. His card was trash compared to Kim's black card. "Clara, you have to win the finals tonight." In the evening, Stephen and Kim were alone in the house. Natalie was visiting her relatives, so she wasn't home. They were sitting on the couch in the living room watching A-Live's stream. The new queen of A-Live would be selected tonight. Amy and Clara would each take turns being the host, and they would be given 1 hour each to entertain their viewers. Whoever received the most gifts would be the winner. The first host was Clara. After A-Live's host introduced her, he welcomed her onto the stage. She was wearing heavy makeup and a V-neck sling dress. The first thing Clara did was throw a flirtatious look at the camera. The viewers went wild, and numerous gift icons appeared on the screen. When Brian joined the stream, the viewers started gossiping.
"Everyone look, General's here. He's been interested in Claire recently. He might give her an incredible gift tonight. Humph, Claire's a goddess. She won't fall for someone like him. I'm her only true love." Brian paused in the middle of reading the chat when he saw this comment. Goddess? Yeah, right, he thought. But I'll still make you the queen. Brian wasted no time and repeatedly sent Clara gifts. By the end of the hour, the number of viewers had reached 3 million. This was a record for A-Live. After Clara left the stage, A-Live's host returned. He was so surprised that he revealed his inner thoughts. Claire received a total of $20 million worth of gifts in the first hour. Is there a need to continue this competition? Right after these words left his mouth, the host realized his mistake. He quickly corrected his words. The competition will continue. Next up, we have a popular streamer joining us. Please welcome Mimi. Amy went on stage and waved at the camera. She was wearing the stylish dress that she had picked out at Elizabeth's boutique. Whether I win or lose isn't important. I'm not here to become the new queen. I'm here for one person, and his name is Stephan Asher. I hope you can join the stream and chat with me tonight. The viewers were stunned by Amy's bold confession. What's going on? Is Mimi giving up on the competition? I'm not surprised. Claire received 20 million. Mimi won't be able to top that. Who's Stephan? Is Mimi in love? My heart is broken. The viewers sent their comments and left. It only took a few minutes for the number of viewers to drop to a few thousand, and the sharp decrease showed no signs of stopping. Brian grinned as he sat back in his seat and looked at Amy on his computer screen. I don't know what you're thinking, but confessing your love on the stream was a stupid move. He took out his phone and sent Clara a message. There's no doubt about it. You'll be the winner. Meanwhile, Kim was nervous as she watched the stream. She tugged on Stephen's sleeve. What happened to Amy? Is she giving up? I'm not sure. Stephen was feeling awkward because his sister-in-law had just confessed her feelings for him in front of 3 million viewers. He glanced at the clock on the wall and grew more anxious as the seconds passed. If he didn't join the stream now, Amy would suffer a crushing defeat. Kim, are you hungry? I'll cook for you. It's okay, I ordered takeout. All right, I'll go clean my room. Mom won't be happy when she comes back and sees how messy it is. It'll be fine, just lock your door. Okay, I'm going to the balcony for a smoke. Open the windows and do it here. Then Kim glared at him. Stephen, are you trying to get out of watching the stream? We should support Amy together. You're not allowed to go anywhere. Okay. Stephen had no choice but to stare absent-mindedly at Kim's phone. At this time, Amy was sitting quietly on stage. She didn't say a word. There were only 3,000 viewers left, and they each took turns to ridicule her. I'm bored. What kind of competition is this? I'm so disappointed in Mimi. She's not acting professional at all. It's been 50 minutes, and her gift count is still at 0. On the stage, there was a display next to the camera for the hosts to watch the stream. Amy bit her lip as she looked at the time. She didn't care about the gifts. She'd be happy as long as Stephan joined the stream. A-Live's host knew that Amy had given up hope when he saw the resigned look on her face. He decided to announce the winner and put an end to her misery. At this time, Mimi hasn't received any gifts, and the number of viewers is the lowest in all of A-Live's history. The winner is clear. I'd like to announce the new queen of A-Live. Before the host could name Clara as the winner, a rainbow appeared on the stream, along with a line of text. Stephan Asher has joined the stream. Everyone was shocked by the eye-catching effects. Did A-Live have this kind of feature? Amy blinked back her tears and stood up. Was it really Stephan? In only 2 minutes, the number of viewers had jumped to 5 million. Brian couldn't believe his eyes. There was a label next to Stephan's name, which read Emperor. He had never seen this label in all his years of using A-Live. Stephen had to be cheating. Brian reached for his phone to call his father and have him investigate Stephan, but no one picked up. He cursed and threw his phone on the floor. More text appeared on the stream. Mimi, I have 3 gifts for you today. For the first gift, everyone who joins the stream will receive a small reward. An envelope appeared on all of the viewers' screens. Everyone was excited to find out how much money was inside, but when the envelope opened, they were disappointed that there were only $10. The viewers started to mock Stephan. What was the point of having an emperor label when he was too cheap to send more than $10? But it didn't take long for the viewers to realize that something wasn't right. They glanced at the corner of the screen and saw that the number of viewers had skyrocketed to 20 million. If Stephen gave each viewer $10, that meant he would have spent $200 million. The chat stopped. Everyone was too surprised to comment. Amy was so grateful that she couldn't hold back her tears anymore. Brian looked at the envelope on the screen and then at Amy. This was crazy. Whoever Stephan was, he had the funds to drop $200 million for his stream. His own family only had $500 million worth of assets. How did Amy get acquainted with someone as rich as Stephan? With Stephan on her side, there was a chance that she would get back at him for everything he'd done to her. The next line of text appeared on the stream. Mimi, this is the second gift. I believe it's something you'll like. The viewers kept their eyes peeled as they passionately guessed Stephen's next gift. They were afraid that they would miss it if they so much as blinked. An explosive sound came from the stream, followed by 100 icons of miniature ships. The chat was in a frenzy. One warship is worth 1 million. 100 of them would be worth 100 million in total. Stephen's dropping millions like they're pennies. Mimi is so lucky. He's giving her such a romantic and extravagant confession. The gifts that Claire received from General are like dirt compared to Stephan's. Brian collapsed on his chair with a defeated expression. The 20 million he'd spent for Clara was wasted effort at this point. As for Clara, up until a few minutes ago, she thought that victory was hers. Where did Stephan come from? And how did Amy know someone like him? Clara decided to call Brian because his father was A-Live's shareholder. Maybe he would have a way to overturn the competition. Just as she was about to call Brian, more text appeared on the stream. Wait, I still have some more money left in my account. I can't be bothered to use it for myself, so I'll give the rest of it to you all. Another deafening sound came from the stream, and an envelope once again appeared on everyone's screens. Clara dropped her phone on the floor in shock. Stephan had sent another $10 to the 20 million viewers. The total amount of money he had spent thus far reached 500 million. Amy smiled at the camera. Stephan, that's enough. You don't have to give me anything else. I'm already satisfied. She had been envious of Kim ever since the owner of Global Investment gave her the Moon of the Nile and the villa. But now, she had a wealthy supporter of her own. The previous sentence on the screen was replaced by a new line of text. I don't have any more money to give you, Mimi, but I've prepared one last gift for you. The viewers rushed to send comments. You don't have any more money? You must be joking. Did he really prepare 3 gifts for Mimi? He's supporting A-Live's business with his money alone. What do you think the last gift will be? While everyone was guessing, a photo appeared on their screens. It was a picture of a man sprawled on the ground in a sorry state. Next to the picture was a short description. Brian Alfaro's father is guilty of laundering an enormous amount of money. With one picture and a single name, the resourceful viewers were able to find information on Brian and his father on the internet. They discovered that General's real name was Brian Alfaro, and his father was a big shot with a net worth of 500 million. Brian slammed his fist on the table. This has to be a lie. If my dad really was caught, then why didn't anything happen to me? He and his father had been laundering money together, so if one of them went down, the other would too. But at that moment, Brian was fine. This could only mean one thing. Stephan was spreading rumors. Stephan, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. I'll make you pay for this. Brian snapped out of his thoughts when the doorbell rang. Who is it? He called out. There was no answer. Whoever it was continued to press the doorbell. Brian picked up an iron rod and cautiously went to the door. The doorbell stopped ringing, and the room went quiet. The door was kicked open, and several people in uniform rushed inside. They grabbed Brian and pinned him against the table with his hands over his head. Brian Alfaro, you're under arrest. Brian tried to struggle free, but he knew that it was pointless. Him, his father, and their company were finished. At this time, Amy was on her way home after winning the competition. Her heart pounded as she sent a private message to Stephan. Everything he'd done for her tonight was a sign that he had feelings for her, right? Stephan, do you want to meet up? Stephen hesitated before sending a reply. He decided to put an end to Amy's love that had recently bloomed. No, I only showed up to give you the gifts. It's time for me to log off. Also, I'm married. I have a wife and I love her very much. Kim was excited as she watched the end of the stream. Stephen, who do you think Stephan is? He didn't hesitate to spend $500 million to help Amy win the competition. He even sent Brian and his dad to prison. Kim reached for Stephen's arm while her eyes were glued to the screen. She looked up when she realized that he wasn't sitting next to her. Sometime during the stream, Stephen had moved to the other end of the couch. He was looking at his phone with a strange expression on his face. Why was he being so sneaky? Kim moved closer to Stephen to take a peek at his phone.
Hi, I'm Stephen.
Want to know my secrets?
Then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Secret Succession now.